Hello everyone, my name is Michaela and today I will be discussing the books I read in October and which ones I read in participation of Victober. I read a total of 7 books. 2 are on a solely audiobook and the rest I have physical copies for as well. And so the first book I read actually was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I'll put a picture up here if I can. My editing skills aren't the best. But I really enjoyed Ninth House. I think I gave it 4 stars. It's kind of a dark academia and magic system in it. It was the first book I read this month, so it's been a little bit because it's also already November when I'm filming this. But I remember really enjoying it. There are definitely some heavy topics in it, so if you need trigger warnings, I would look into them. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, and I saw that there's going to be a follow-up. I could be totally wrong, but I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars and so the second book I have here, apologies for the bad lighting, here I'll hold it back up here, is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and this also includes 2 other shorter stories by Robert Louis Stevenson, Markheim and The Body Snatcher. So I really liked Markheim and The Body Snatcher, and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was okay. It was like a 3.5 star. So in total, I gave this collection a 4 star. It's really good. It was spooky, a little scary, and it really finally got me out of my reading slump because it is a shorter collection. And so it finally got me out of my reading slump. Like, I swear, I read Ninth House in the first week of October, and then it wasn't until the very last week of October that I read the rest of these books. So the rest of these books I read in a week. Granted, I had reading week off university. If you watch my blog, you know I didn't have anything to do, so I could read for a week nonstop. But yeah, 4 stars for this one. And so the next one that I completed was Gothic Tales by Elizabeth Gaskell. So this is a collection of her more spooky stories. And this was the group read for Victober this year, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 stars for the collection. My favorite one has to be Lois the Witch, because it's about the Salem witch trials. I love those. I love stories about that. So 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I'm really excited to read more of Elizabeth Gaskell's work because her prose was really beautiful in this. I think I have North and South on my shelves behind me. But I also know that she has a bunch of other great novels like Ruth, and I know she wrote a somewhat controversial biography about Charlotte Brontë. So 4 stars for this one. And speaking of Charlotte Brontë, I read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë. So this was amazing. This was 5 stars. It's a pretty big book, and I want to read it really soon. So I want to read this 600-page book all over again, right away. It's really amazing. I give it 5 stars, like I said, but basically this follows the life of Jane Eyre, who is a orphaned girl who then goes to live with her aunt and uncle. Her uncle dies, which is the only person in that family who actually likes her, and she gets shipped off to a boarding school because of her familial problems, family problems. There we go. And then she learns, everything she needs to know, and then becomes a governess for Mr. Rochester. And after meeting Mr. Rochester, there's a relationship that starts to bloom, and there are some twists and there's some turns, and I didn't think it was going to end up the way it did. I really liked it. I don't want to spoil it because I kind of spoiled it in my vlog, but hopefully if you hadn't read it, you skipped that part. But it's really enjoyable. I think next time I read it, I want to annotate it heavily because there's just so much in here. I feel like I could have 1 million copies of Jane Eyre and annotate them differently every single time. One looking for her just beautiful prose, and another one looking for character development and foreshadowing and all that good stuff. But thoroughly enjoyable. I definitely recommend it if you've never read any Victorian literature. This one I had started and I was slumping kind of hard when I picked it up, but as soon as I was able to get through another book another classic book I was able to push through, and I really enjoyed it. Also, the audiobook is really good. I had the Audible exclusive one or whatever that's included with the free membership or whatever. The premium membership. So like if you have Audible monthly credits, you can get this for free. It was really good. But yeah, 5 stars. And I'll just say the rest of the books I've read this month, except for one, were also 5 stars. So I have 3 more books left and I have 2 more 5 stars. So I had 3 5 stars in 1 month and 2 4 stars. So pretty good. No, 3 4 stars. Pretty good reading month, I have to admit. Like, yeah. So the next book I have here is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Again, 5 stars. I started annotating this a little bit, but I didn't really do that completely because I was reading it physically and listening to the audiobook at times, so I didn't really annotate when I was listening to the audiobook. But I read this in like 2 days and it was amazing. So it follows Dorian Gray after, and like him meeting some Lord Henry, I think is his name. I always get confused because I think they refer to him as Harry as well, and I don't know if those are like synonymous weird nicknames, but that was a thing all of its own. But he meets Henry, who kind of sparks this existential crisis about aging and how he is going to age and never look as beautiful as he was when he sat for the portrait that he sat for his other friend. And so it kind of follows him struggling with this idea that he's going to be aging, and the picture of Dorian Gray is always going to be beautiful, and it's never going to age, and it's going to just be like a reminder of like what he was and like how ugly he came to be. And so it kind of follows his like very quick spiral. Like I would say like the second half of the book, like the plot is very fast in the second half and kind of slower in the first half, but like it goes really fast, and so all the events kind of meet at the end into his demise. And I won't spoil it because I do that enough on my channel. But it was really good. I definitely recommend anybody who hasn't read it read it. It's quite short for a classic, and it goes pretty fast. I mean, the first half, like I said, it's more character driven. You're kind of getting to know all these characters. You're kind of getting to know Dorian Gray. And then the second half really picks up speed and events quickly unfold. So I would give it a shot. If you can get through more than halfway, which I don't think you'll have a problem with because it's really beautiful in the writing, I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. I don't think I've really seen anybody who's read this not give it 5 stars. I mean, I know there's gotta be people who didn't like this book, but I've never met, or I've never seen, I don't think I've actually know anybody in real life that has read this book. And so the last physical book I have on my TBR, that I read this month was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And so I gave this 5 stars. It was so beautiful. Oh my gosh. I think about this quite often, if I'm being honest, and I just think like about Frankenstein's creation and like how sad of a life that was and like how awful that was. But basically, Frankenstein follows a man named Frankenstein, like that's his family name, and his obsession with science and creating life. And basically he, makes Frankenstein's monster or Frankenstein's creation, whatever you want to call him. And it's basically this animated corpse, basically, that is one of the most beautiful speakers ever. Like he's very eloquent. Like I think if you've seen the movie, he's like barely speaks and like just makes like grr noises, like, kind of like a zombie. But in the book, he's just so eloquent and so well spoken, and it's honestly heart-wrenching. There was like parts of this where I was just like on the verge of tears because Frankenstein's monster was just like so hurt and so like pained by his existence and the fact that his creator created him and now he like cannot kill him. Like it was just utterly beautiful. And this edition is the 1818 edition, sorry. And so that was the 1818 edition was originally published. That's when it was originally published after it was written by Mary Shelley. But there was also a revision in 1831 in which Mary Shelley actually went in and edited the book and then republished it. So this one's the 1818 edition, and I really want to read the 1831 one as well. But this was so beautiful, and I will be definitely reading this time and time again. It was just so amazing. And so the last book I read, I believe it's called The Coldest Girl in Coldtown by Holly Black. I could be wrong, but it's something along those lines. I'll put a picture here. I listened to this one on audiobook. It was a 3-star. It was good. I was never really disliking anything from the book. But as I was listening to it, I was like, is this a sequel? Is this a series? I don't know if I would want to listen or read any of the other ones if it was a series. And it wasn't. It's a standalone from what I can tell. And, yeah, it was good. It was, it's about a girl who goes to Coldtown, which is like a town in which vampires are rampant. Basically, in this world, vampires are known. They're like a done deal. They're in the lives of everybody, and you kind of have to not, it's like a thing you have to watch out for in life, is try not to get bit by a vampire and turned cold. And so she wakes up from a party in which everyone but her and her ex-boyfriend are dead from a vampire attack, and her ex-boyfriend, got bit, and so he's slowly turning, and it kind of unfolds there. She goes to Coldtown because I can't remember why she went to Coldtown, if I'm being quite honest, but it was fun. I think I would not reread it, but maybe I would. Maybe if there's a sequel, I would reread it, but it was okay. I read it because it was vampires, and because I have The Cruel Prince by Holly Black on my TBR. I got it for a really good price on Amazon, which I try not to buy books from Amazon, but it was really good price. So I bought that because I've seen a lot of hype about it on TikTok and BookTube. I don't really have TikTok anymore, but when I had TikTok, it was pretty big on there. And so I wanted to give that a shot, and I was looking on Libby, and it was and The Coldest Girl in Coldtown was available, so I decided to pick it up and give it a go. But it was okay. I liked it. 3 stars. I don't regret reading it at all. And I would recommend it if you like vampires. Why not? Give it a shot. It's not bad. It's not amazing either. That was my wrap up. I really enjoyed the books I read this past month in October. It's November now when I'm filming this. And I have found some new favorites, clearly. 3 5-star reads. And I'm really glad I got out of a reading slump. I finished my reading goal for this year, which is really awesome. I'm really glad I'm way above it now, actually. I think I'm way past it, but it's really exciting that I finally hit a reading goal. Last year, I think I only read 1 book. And the years before that, I don't think I read a book since I was in high school. This year, I really wanted to get back into reading, and I'm really happy that I have. But we still have November, which I have already finished 2 books. Spoiler for my next couple videos, but whatever. I'm just having a lot of fun with the stuff I'm reading right now. And yeah, so I read quite a few books, big stack, plus the 2 audiobooks. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video. If you have any thoughts on these books, let me know. If you have any recommendations based off what I've read this month, definitely let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you hated Jane Eyre, or if you hated the picture of Dorian. If you hated the picture of Dorian Gray, please let me know. I really want to know. I don't know anybody who hated it, so. But yeah, that was my wrap up. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're having a great week. Goodbye.